So the next thing I want to talk about is the quarterback situation at the University of Tennessee. I don't think we can wait a couple more weeks before we recap Tennessee's season to talk about this. I think we got to bring it up now because it's that big of a storyline. But what I like to say, because I have a hard time pronouncing words, especially anything with more than one syllable, I like to call him Nico Lamentations. But the quarterback from Tennessee, the starting quarterback last year, he's in a hot mess. And I'm going to let the chicken just really get in because he's got some pretty cool takes on it. So go ahead.
Oh, Nico. You fell for the age-old greed there, big guy. He had a pretty high dollar deal coming into Tennessee, played QB1. So it's not like this kid's looking at the possibilities of where he might land on the roster coming out of spring practice. He's QB1 at Tennessee, the Tennessee that went to the playoffs this past year. They got smoked, but they went to the playoffs. He didn't participate in spring practice the other day. He's trying to renegotiate his deal. And then a certain former SEC coach, assistant coach at the time, albeit, Dan Lanning, let his buddy Josh Heupel know that Nico was sniffing around, trying to see if he could find some big money at the University of Nike, also known as Oregon, and the Fighting Ducks. This has not played out well for Nico, chasing higher dollars, as at one point Tennessee said, we're good. We'll figure out something else. A lot of the other schools. Bye, Felicia. Yeah. And the horse you rode in on. They've backed away a little bit. Not a lot of traffic from other schools shining Nico's way. Nico is now trying to renegotiate. But another thing that I heard that I found very, very interesting. Nico's catching a lot of heat for this right now because he's the big name in this whole thing. However, yes, these young men are chasing big dollars, but it's the representation behind them that are chasing that big commission for themselves that are pushing these guys to make bad decisions. Nico was not the only one. However, several other athletes on other playoff schools this past season tried to renegotiate going into the playoffs. Why? The argument was made that their NIL deals were based on a 12-game season, or, hey, you make the conference championship 13. Postseason, however, that's not what that NIL contract is based on. So if you're looking at a team like Alabama, Tennessee, Notre Dame, schools that made it to the playoffs, well, maybe my guy deserves a bigger payday because look at where he took you. That actually happened this past playoff round. Now, we didn't hear about it at the time because nothing came of it. Nobody hit that whole bonus structure. But that's what I believe fueled this Nico round here in the offseason of, all right, fine, well, let's renegotiate now. It's killing the game. Flat out killing the game. But chicken scratch moment number one of this show. Brought to you by OTC Kennels, Off the Chain Kennels, OTC on Facebook, Instagram. Check them out. Does this provide enough of an opportunity for the bigger schools to stand up and say, enough is enough? We're going to set the market value for these players. We're not going to have this turn into Wild West free agency where players like Nico, and listen, the kid's talented, there's no doubt about it, but they're not going to hold us hostage year in and year out for however many millions of dollars they think that they can count to put in their bank account. Will these conferences, will these larger schools have the backbone to say there comes a time where you draw that line between chasing a championship and saving college football?
I think at least the way it sounds right now, Tennessee is doing that. Tennessee's making the stance and saying, later, next man up. You're not going to hold us hostage, and and see, this was a really weird situation. You mentioned something about, he was a starter, this year or last year, and he's projected to be a starter this year. I look at it like in Texas, right? So Texas has Arch Manning. It's been sitting there for a while, right? Arch has been waiting his turn. The census is he was gonna be QB1 in 2025, regardless. So I can understand a Quinn Ewers shopping around to try to get some money. I get that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Or additional playing time.
Correct. But what Nico is doing right now, man, it is what drove the GOAT out of coaching college football. It's what happened. Yep. And so if this is like you said, this is the opportunity right now for the NCAA to say, and all the schools, and if the SEC and the Big Ten and the Big 12 and the ACC, I think I've said that right, all of them, the main four. We used to have 5, but now you got the Pac-2. We're not going to include the Pac-2 on this. So, but if you take the Power 4 conferences, if they will all get together and say, we're not going to allow this to happen. We're not going to allow this. We're not going to set this thing up where it's going to, now it's the next guy that's going to do it. It's the next guy. We are going to say, like you said, we are going to save college football. And I hope they do it because something's got to happen. Something drastic has got to happen to shake it, to get it right back in where college football needs to be.
I think
currently,
go ahead.
Sorry. Currently, it's not looking like that's going to happen. It looks like North Carolina is going to be getting him with Bill Belichick. Is crystal balled 100% to get him right now. Recent reports.
24-year-old girlfriends and overpaid quarterbacks.
That's right.
There you go.
She's not 24. She's 21.
And 3/4.
At 3/4. That's right.
What I liked about this whole thing, and I didn't know about the North Carolina angle, although I'm not remotely surprised, is that, again, the University of Nike, they were the ones that called it. They were the ones that threw the flag. Dan Lanning, come on. They got access to more money. Phil Knight can stroke a check for every player in the country, more than likely. We'll give you a shoe deal, right? They'll all be playing for Oregon. None of us will be able to field a team, right?
That's right.
That's the power that they've got over there in Eugene. And Dan Lanning says, nah, we're not doing that. In fact, I'm going to tell your dad.
That's right. I like it. Look, I think more coaches, and keep in mind, Dan Lanning came from the SEC, man. And he wants things to. Dan Lanning loves college football. He loves the landscape of college football, and I think he wants to continue that to go. He does not want to turn this into a professional sports. It's halfway there. Anything they can do to make it, to keep that separation between the NFL and college would be great. And this was definitely a good step, I think. And now I hope North Carolina, and look, maybe North Carolina is going to give him money. He's going to go somewhere other than Tennessee. I wouldn't want him at Tennessee at all anymore. If I was Josh Heupel, I wouldn't want him.
Well, if you're playing with him, if you're a teammate, do you want to play with this guy?
No.
Because his value is with the dollar. His value is not with the team.
We talked about that last week when it comes to Lenore Sellers. I'm not going to keep bringing, that stuff up, but I think that was a good point, is Lenore Sellers, Gamecock. He's a Gamecock through and throughout, man. And so he's not a Vol. He's not a volunteer.
Right.
Which I don't even like that mascot name. I don't.
He's a paid individual. He's not a volunteer.
That's right.
Yeah, I know.
That's right.
That's right.
I got it.
So
I understood it. He didn't laugh because he didn't get it. But no shock, right? Like Belichick coming out of the pros, that this is all he knows how to do. Right?
That's right.
Is pick up another free agent and try and win something here. I don't think it works out. I really don't. Nico's going to go there. I get that. He'll be at Chapel Hill. But I don't think it works out. for them. I don't see them making the playoffs this next year. They'll probably have a good year, 8, 9 wins maybe, but I don't see them going up. I think this backfires for Belichick.
Dude, I hope they lose every game. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I have a strange feeling that it's going to be very good for UNC. Maybe not Nico specifically, but I think Belichick coming in is going to transition that football program, and I can see them competing for the ACC next year if he works out.
In year one, you think that?
And maybe not in year one because he's a redshirt sophomore. Nico is, so he has another. He could go into the draft after next season, but I bet you now he'll have to stay another year to get some more tape on the field because he's about to be playing a lot weaker teams now.
You know, they said the same thing about Mac Brown when he came to North Carolina. Oh, he's going to bring it to North Carolina. And I'm not saying Bill Belichick is going to fail at it, but let's keep in mind, I mean, he's 94 and a half years old. And I don't think he's got the stamina to keep up with college football. I just don't. It's more work.
Not that and his girlfriend. There's just no way.
No, she has demands. She has needs, but we're going to keep that clean. I think, yeah. So anyway, we'll see what happens, but good for Tennessee just to stand their ground and let the boy walk, man. There's plenty of people out there for sure